this video is incredible. Somebody tweeted it at me, and they said something to the effect of, check out Dave Rubin doing an impression of you doing an impression of Dave Rubin. Now, as always, I got to give Mike Racine props. He's sort of a major innovator.
He's like Prometheus of the Dave Rubin impression.
Right. He nailed it. He definitely took the like essence Dave Rubin and got it across for us. But so that's the like, you know, my thing that I always go like, well, I'm interested in ideas and yeah, but yeah, I'm interested in ideas. So what happens in this clip is actually genuinely mind-blowing, because apparently, I guess it's like Tim Pool must have been on Dave's show, and now like Dave is getting interviewed by Tim.
Yeah, it's like Tim was at the Dave Rubin Estates. I don't know, wherever he records it. And
Rubin Estates.
They recorded a Rubin report. And then just right after, Tim Pool got his set up his GoPros or something, and
Tim's like, "Hey, can I turn the tables on you?"
Yeah, and they recorded this. And actually, to be fair to Tim Pool, who I said wasted a class period at NYU when he guest lectured a class, I still resent that. He kind of grills. Well,
yeah, this is what's incredible. This is the okay. So in addition, everybody knows, but we'll still find anyways. You know how funny. Look, of course, Dave Rubin's a total idiot. Right? Obviously. So that's going to be funny. But this is also like the second interaction. And this is based on the first interaction where Joe Rogan, who's like friendly with Dave Rubin, just humiliated him in the infamous building code saga.
Which was immediately following the infamous sending chickens through the mail saga.
So, right. The chickens through the mail saga. So I don't even remember which came first in that. It's
the mail, the chickens,
the chicken or the building code.
The chicken or the building code.
Once Rogan reminded him that the United States Postal Service is the only way to send chickens through the mail.
Then he was like, but what about building codes? Theirs looks like something.
I'm a connoisseur of ideas, so I can quickly pivot to another example that's gonna, I guess, maybe not also prove my point.
So Tim Pool here, I got to say, yeah, he's being a little unexpectedly aggressive. Like, if I'm Dave Rubin, it's like, hey, I just gave you a free platform, and I don't ask questions. Why are you asking me questions?
I thought we were homies.
I thought we were cool.
I always think it's like I see these people that are hating me all the time, and I'm like, who are you? What is wrong with you that you're waking up and you're thinking, oh, I got to figure out what Rubin tweeted today to go after him? It's like, listen, I'm doing my thing. If you don't like it, I said this before, but don't watch. It's okay.
you were on Rogan once or...
No, but it's also okay to do this. Like, it's fun.
This is the marketplace of ideas,
Dave. Marketplace of ideas. Dave, like, you can go do your thing, and you can, be a bagman and idiot for the worst interests in the world, from corporations to oligarchy to racism, we can make fun of you.
It's not personal. We're just scrutinizing ideas.
It's not personal. I'm just really interested in the ideas. All right, that's a really disturbing freeze frame there. Let's keep playing.
I always think it's like I see these people that are hating me all the time, and I'm like, who are you? What is wrong with you that you're waking up and you're thinking, oh, I got to figure out what Rubin tweeted today to go after him? It's like, listen, I'm doing my thing. If you don't like it, I said this before, but don't watch. It's okay.
You were on Rogan once, or were you on more?
3 times.
So there was one particular incident where Rogan was asking you about why you believe in less government control.
Yeah.
People felt like you didn't know what you were talking about, that you were advocating for a position, that you weren't...
No, so this was, I think specifically, this is the last time I was on Rogan, and we were talking about building codes, I think was the specific part of it, yeah.
Oh, you've been dragged.
And I kept, yeah. And I said, we were talking, well, it was in the framework of talking about limited government. And I said at the beginning of this is not like my particular point of interest, like building codes or even regulation specifically, like the nitty-gritty parts of regulation. I like talking about ideas. That's what I like talking about. So like we got into some nitty-gritty thing about building code regulation. And I said something like you could have private regulation for some of this, and that you'd have an agreement between the buyer of the house and the seller of the house, that maybe that's not exactly the role for government. But several times in that.
Okay, so this guy is very stupid. But what I love the steps there. Because first it's like, I would like hazard a guess that unless there's like a YouTube channel that's like dedicated to this is how you build a house. There's probably none of us that are specifically interested in like building codes. So I like how he went from like, I'm not really interested in building codes to then like, I'm not interested in regulation as a category. Okay. Like building codes is a pretty specific technical subset of regulation. And the thing is, you kind of are interested in regulation because you were saying on a national platform that they were useless and didn't serve any good. And then you got to the building code part where your subset example, well, let's just watch this.
Anyway,
they would cut a lot more if there weren't. That's the way you get them. You get them to the U.S. Postal Service. But you don't get them to UPS.
I'm pretty sure, though, that if the USPS stopped, it didn't exist anymore, you'd still get chickens delivered. And Amazon could probably do it even more effectively. That's my point. It's like, I'm not saying these things have...
Amazon uses the U.S. Postal Service to deliver their goods. Anyways, go ahead.
These things have to be eliminated tomorrow. I'm not even really calling for them to be eliminated. But just generally, what problem would you... Everything you're building here right now, right? Do you want the government to tell you how to do all these things and all the regulations that you got to have your electric thing this far from this and like all of
the regulations like that for construction are important though. You do have to make sure that people don't do stupid shit.
But
make sure you don't have a power line that's near a water line. There's a lot of.
But I would put most of that on the builders, though. They want to build things that are good. Now, I get it.
That's not true. Listen, people
people are going to build
corners all the time. Like you have to have regulations when it comes to construction methods, or people are going to get fucked.
They cut corners when there are regulations anyway.
They do. They would cut a lot more if there weren't regulations.
I'm not totally...
You go to third world countries and look at construction methods. They're fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
That's why schools collapse on kids in foreign countries sometimes. Like.
Well, I'm not telling you that I'm against all regulation, period. That's where I said intellectually I like that argument because you could I think you can make a very sound argument that competition would force people to do better work.
No, to be fair, when I hear that, I do think to myself, well, I mean, this just sounds like a guy who's more idea oriented. That's a blue sky, big picture thinker right there.
There's two kinds of thinkers. There's the nitty gritty guys and there's the idea guys. And Dave is purely the latter.
Oh yeah, he exists on a really exalted plane.
I think you can make a pretty strong argument that what I'm saying is actually not as dumb as it sounded for the past couple minutes.
Hey, I have an idea. What if this actually wasn't me making a complete ass of myself in front of millions of people?
There's one thing. I mean, think of how much faster we could build buildings if we didn't care about putting water lines next to outlets and faucets underneath.
That's amazing. It's like he has an I bet, I haven't thought about it, but I am sure that if I wanted to do that job and be a pure hack like that, you could find I mean, isn't it ridiculous that I don't know, you want to open a pizza parlor and the bathroom needs to,
Well, a simple one is, new construction shouldn't require a certain amount of parking spaces because that's basically a subsidy to the automobile industry.
Right. Or some type of exactly. Or some type of, you could find, and then it's like he has an anti-ear. Because first he's like, well, the post office, you can get chickens. And then it's like, okay, well, actually, no, literally you did get your chickens from the post office because that's the only way they're sent. By the way, the classic libertarian move there would have been yeah, and why? I mean, I wish I didn't have the government force me to use them to get my chickens. And you go down some dumb rabbit hole like that. But then he goes to buildings. And it's okay, that's an interesting one. Because just even you're queuing buildings. Unless I'm a complete demented dingbat that calls into radio shows to complain that water is treated, you might intuitively kind of go to no, that actually sounds like a place that I kind of would like a little bit of oversight on.
You're on the San Andreas Fault recording your YouTube show.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and then it's and then doesn't he actually literally himself go to which wires go doesn't he actually say that before Rogan?
Yeah, he's do you want your electric thing near this?
Right, and
yeah.
it's yes. That's the whole fucking point. He goes to all of the wrong, like he goes to like and that's what leads Rogan could do his whole like, no, dude, that's actually pretty fucking important, bro.
When you're getting turned back by Rogan and Tim Pool like that, not known for their incredulity and like, Jeremy Paxman type approach to guests, you might have to look inward.
Yeah, turn the ideas on oneself, Dave. All right, let's take a call.